Hi everybody.
Hi everyone.
Welcome to Twinset and Purl's Knitting Podcast, number 17.
Wow. Who'd have thought it? So I'm Rachel.
And I'm Jo.
And we're twins, sisters, who spend a lot of time together knitting, speak to the camera. And we designed together as Twinset and Purl. And we have got a few new designs to show you today, which we'll get to in a minute. So, do you want to say
all of our contact stuff will be in the show notes below. So we have a Ravelry group, we've got an Instagram account, we've both got our own Instagram accounts. Everything will be on.
Everything will be in the description box below.
Right. But we'd love you to join our Ravelry group if you feel like it. We've currently got a GiftKAL going on with knitting any of our patterns that you're going to give as gifts. But we'll go into a little bit more of that in a little while because we've got a little bit of an announcement to make.
Yes.
So in October, we were donating all of the money for the proceeds from our pattern sales to a charity in the UK. Originally, it was going to be a local charity to me that buy Christmas presents for underprivileged children. Unfortunately, they've had to stop doing their charity work. They just haven't got enough resources this year. But we found another charity that does the same thing, but it's a national charity. So hopefully they're helping even more children. So that's really good. Yeah. It's called Action for Children.
And it's the Secret Santa appeal. So it is directly for presents and food
and things, isn't it? Like treats and things that kids would get bought at Christmas. And they give children whose parents or guardians they don't have enough money to buy them presents. They buy them some presents and some treats. So we were able to donate £350 from our pattern sales. So
thank you.
I think their average donation is about £30. So so hopefully that's giving them a little bit of boost. And I'm in the very privileged position of working for a company that has a charitable foundation, and they give to any charity work that colleagues do up to £500. So they are going to be giving...
That's once a year.
Once a year.
For every person who works for them.
Yeah. So they'll be matching what we've given. So that's £700 to the charity. Is brilliant. So that's great. Yeah. So thank you to everybody who bought a pattern. We're very appreciative.
And we're glad that we can make a little bit of a help.
We can use this hobby that we all have fun doing to give a bit back. Yeah. So that's great. Cool. So now we're going to give a little bit more back because we've got some winners for our...
We've got some winners from the Knitalong, and also we've been a bit lapse. So we've got a winner from October from our Show Us What Twinset and Purl pattern you're knitting thread. So the Knitalong runs until the end of the year, so 31st of December, and all the information will be in the description box below, but also in the thread on Ravelry. So there's a chatter thread and an FO thread, and we also have the prize to show you today, the grand prize,
and we have a hashtag on Instagram.
Oh yeah, which is T.
But FO's.
I will put it here.
Sorry to talk over you. The final prize will be drawn from Ravelry, the FO thread in Ravelry. Yeah. So if you're taking part, please make sure that you put your post your finished objects in there.
Yeah, there's quite a few, but there's a long time to go yet. So I will also I say this every time, but now the prize is complete, apart from one thing. I will take a picture and put it in the FO thread or the chatter thread so people can see what the prize is. But for each month of the KAL, so October, November, December, we are picking two winners, one from Instagram and one from Ravelry, which is... Did we decide the FO thread? Or
it's from the FO.
Oh, right, okay. And they win a pattern of their choice from Ravelry, which we will buy you. So it doesn't have to be one of ours. We say this every time people pick our patterns, but you can pick any pattern on Ravelry. So I would say up to the value of £10. We're not going to buy you an ebook of something, which is a bit, obviously within reason, and everyone understands that. So so the winners for October are from Instagram, Tobias_crafts, and
who knit a crest of a wave cowl, which is beautiful yarn. If you go on the hashtag and have a look at them.
And then the Ravelry winner was RMW18, and they knitted festive flower socks. So I'm reading off Jo's notes here. So that was...
They're lovely. They're like a berry colour.
So they did like a one colour work. So we realised that a lot of podcasters would now insert pictures of those, but we haven't actually asked permission. We only picked the winners this morning. So I will contact the winners on Ravelry and Instagram and let them know. And then, sorry, I'm itching my nose, but I've got a tickle, not anything else. And then for October, from our other thread, which is the
Twinset and Purl whips. What's your Twinset and Purl whips?
And they are Jenrberry, and she knitted the June Botanical Yarn Sock Club socks, which for the life of me I can't remember the name of at this very moment in time. I have designed 12 pairs, so you have to forgive me. So I will contact her.
Well, did she knit them in the?
Yes, she knitted them in the Botanical Yarn. She must be part of the sock. You can't get the pattern.
No, but doesn't mean she was going to knit them in that yarn.
Oh no,
necessarily.
Yeah. So
that's all the winners for this.
That's all the winners. I'm a bit slow this morning. I shouldn't be, because my brain fog has lifted. So, right. So now
shall we start with what we're wearing?
We should have probably started with what we're wearing,
but that's fine.
You go first.
So I'm wearing my Maurice shawl in the fingering weight version.
Have you shown this at all?
It was a whip last time, so it's knit in Kremeke Lazy Linen, which is 80% wool and 20% linen, in the colourway light green, which is like a sagey green, which actually changes colour. So when you put it next to green, it doesn't look green.
No.
When you put it next to beige,
well, you are looking quite beige today.
It looks a bit greener.
It does.
Next to beige. So
it looks like dark beige.
Yeah.
You were about to.
Yeah, I'm going to go into a bit more detail because it's also my FO. So
all right.
I'll go into a bit more detail in FOs.
Okay. And I'm wearing my sparkling fountain sweater, which I got back from Sophie when we visited. And when we released this pattern, I didn't have it to actually show on the podcast. So we did put some pictures in and stuff, but today I can show you in a bit more detail. So it's a raglan, top-down raglan, slightly more boxy so a bit more positive ease than Lady Whistledown sweater. It's knitted using one strand of 4-ply and one strand of suri alpaca, and this is in the Sparkling Fountain colourway, which was the colourway for the April sock club. And it's got the design which I put on the sock, and then either side on these kind of balloon sleeves, 3/4 length with an I-cord bind off, and the neck is twisted rib, and so is the rib on the bottom. And I have put on a little bit of weight since I knitted this, so it would have been a bit more boxy, but there is positive ease there. And I love it, and it's very warm, I have to say, even with no sleeves. No sleeves. 3/4 length sleeves, or I don't think they're 2/3 sleeves really. But yeah, so this pattern is now going to be available in our Ravelry store as well as from Botanical Yarn. So I will be adding that over the next couple of days, and I will make sure that I add it to both of the promotions, bonus 20 for the podcast, or gift 25 for the Knitalong.
Cool.
Yeah, so I love it. And I have realised that it's very similar colour to my ranunculus, which I just knitted.
That's got a little bit more tealy, bluey.
A bit more variegation as well.
Yeah.
But I'm loving 4-ply and suri together. I'm going to have to cast something else on, although I am trying to rein it in at the moment. So yeah, so that's what I'm wearing. Cool. So
go
to talk about FOs on new designs.
Well, I was going to, new designs was over the page.
Okay, that's
so
right.
I was going to do.
Joe's organised us this morning.
I was going to do FOs.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
going to write mine in because you haven't put mine in.
Okay, this is the Maurice shawl, and
I love this one.
it is. So originally it was designed. I designed it in a sport weight yarn, and it used 350 grams of sport weight. And I appreciate it's actually really large. So this is the sport weight version. It's in beautiful yarn from Beautiful Knitters shop in Pimlico in London.
This is their yarn.
This is their yarn in the colourway Pine, and it's a camel merino mix, and it is just so squishy and delicious.
But we'll show you how big it is.
But it is huge.
And this is 350 grams of sport weight, isn't it?
But it is lovely wrapped around your neck when it's on a cold day. So I thought, well, let's do a fingering weight version. And it's knit almost exactly the same, apart from the middle section has more repeats on the fingering weight version, but it is still smaller.
Just about smaller.
Just about smaller. So,
and now but it used just over 2 skeins.
yeah, it was 210 grams of fingering weight, which is, I know, is a bit frustrating. So I also knit very tightly, so I'm expecting when it goes to testing that that my testers will use more yarn. So I think 203 skeins is fine, but I am doing a lace weight version, which is one of my whips, and that is going to be narrower than this one, so that you can get it out of two 50-gram balls of lace. But effectively, you could knit any size with any weight yarn as long as you've got the right needle size, and you'll get a slightly narrower or deeper shawl. So what do I want to say? So yeah, so it's going to be very, very flexible, and I'm going to try and make lots of notes so that people know what size they want to pick and whatever. But I love this pattern, and look how that broken or that garter rib shows up in that yarn. I love it. And it's called the Maurice. Did it have a name last time?
It didn't have a name, I don't think.
It's called the Maurice shawl.
Because somebody told us.
Somebody said last time what. So this is, I can't remember. Acanthus.
Yeah.
Pattern from William Maurice, and I thought there's loads of patterns called Acanthus on Ravelry, so it couldn't call it that. But it is very much inspired by William Maurice wallpaper and whatever. And then I thought, our granddad was called Maurice, so why don't I call it the Maurice shawl and spell it how he spelt it? So William Maurice is Morris, and our granddad was Maurice, Maurice. So
Maurice.
It's a really sweet story. Our mum was Maureen, and that was half of his name and half of our granny, who was Kathleen. So they called their daughter Maureen, which I think is lovely. It's a lovely little story. So this is the Maurice shawl, and it's going to be available in 3 different weights, 2 different sizes, and I'm going to be putting out a call for testers beginning of next week.
Brilliant.
So
Wonderful.
Thank you, everybody, for my little Maurice
The
presentation.
Maurice segment. You've been knitting a lot of Maurices.
I have, and I'm going to show you the lace one in the whips section.
So that, and then you've got this.
Yeah. Before I put that one back on, this I showed on a podcast a while ago. It's also in Kremeke Yarn. I don't have the ball band with me, but it's there. It's it's Kremeke Cashmere, Vegan Cashmere, and it's cotton.
But kind of
like
fluffy.
a summer yarn, and it's really, really soft. I have to say that I struggled to find the needle size they say to use. You just don't get any drape at all. So I went up to I think it was a 5.5 or a 5 centimetre needle. I don't know.
Looks
Doesn't
like
really
Aaron.
say, yeah. And I cast on this pattern, which is really simple. You can't really, it's a bit difficult in the. It's a really simple 2-row pattern, and I just cast on. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, I did a provisional cast on, and then knit almost 2 balls and joined it with Kitchener. It's got an I-cord on either side, and it's a little cowl for H.
So it's not going to be a proper pattern, but we were thinking that some of you might want it to be a pattern. So Joe's going to write the pattern in the description box.
Yeah, because it's literally 2 rows.
And tell you basically how to do it.
You're not going to put it on?
Oh, okay. Sorry. A bit warm.
Well, just for a second.
Okay.
See. So this is about 28 inches long and then grafted.
It's lovely.
And yesterday you were wearing it, weren't you, just to like keep the back of your neck warm?
Yeah.
And that's, you know.
So you could, when you wear it, if you wore it in your coat, you could kind of do that.
Yeah.
And tuck your coat in. But it's
really soft,
yeah.
isn't it?
And I think because you could wear it all year round because it's you know, if you wanted a little accessory, it is a cotton after all. Yeah. I'm not actually. Well, I'll take it off if I get too hot.
So I'm gonna add that in the notes.
Actually, I'm gonna take it off because I've got to try some hats on.
Yeah, so I'll as I say, I'll pop a little bit of an instruction on how to make that in the notes.
Lovely. Thank you very much for knitting me a present. Right. So that's you for FOs?
That's me for FOs.
So I have 2 FOs, and the first ones are my self-striping socks for October, which I've actually blocked. And these were knitted in, oh my goodness. The colourway is called Blame It on the Weatherman, and it's Stripy Cat yarns, and they were from, Sophie got me the yarn, or purchased it on my behalf, at
Yorkshire
In Person Yorkshire Yarn Fest, yeah. And all I did, because I find it very hard to knit vanilla socks, is I put on to the side of each sock, so they mirror each other, the front panel pattern from Hohi's Moonlight socks, because I like how it moves the stripes. And I used it on the months before's. I actually knit Moonlight socks in September's yarn, but for these they have an afterthought heel, which I really like in self-striping. Yeah, so
nice.
Yeah, very nice. And I also finished, which was a whip last time, my Bonjour High hat.
And this was the one that you knit at a higher gauge, tighter gauge.
Tighter gauge, so on 4 and 4.5. But it's about the same. Try and put it on in a not very. I haven't actually worn it yet.
Cute.
And this is knitted in Isaiah Alpaca 1 and silk mohair in the colour 30, I think. It's in the. We'll put it in the description, but it's in last time's. And I love it. I love the bit of slouch in the back. I think I might have done it a little bit longer by accident, like I thought it was. but I really love the fabric. And they are incredibly warm hats actually. And I've been wearing my other one because it's been really drizzly here but windy, and you can't have an umbrella up. So to save my hair, I've been wearing my mohair hat.
Have you been out?
So, yeah.
Normally you don't go out if the weather's
I know.
horrible.
I went for coffee with my friends.
Oh, right.
And went out. So
I had to walk to work the other day and it was absolutely tipping it down. I got soaked.
So those
so
are the two things that I've managed to finish, which is a bit poor because I was meaning to finish. I'll be showing in my whips, but I've just been busy doing other knitting. Some of which we can.
Oh my god, you've got loads of whips.
I have. It's whip heavy today. We didn't show the prize for the cow yet again. Before we go into whips, shall we quickly show the prize? Sorry everybody, we're so professional. Anyway, so the prize, the grand prize for the cow, is this lovely, we have shown this before, the project bag by Tizzy Quilts and Crafts. So we will put her on, link her on, so we're going to give her check her out. And then we have this lovely skein of yarn by Dusty Dimples called Pink October, which is the
it was 2021's colourway
for the treasure chest fundraising for breast cancer care. And then the other, we thought they look quite nice with the bag. So this other skein of yarn is, can you hold the bag up to help me? Is I'm not sure of the colourway, but it's a Fibre Fox Plumpy, which is 80-10-10, so a bit of cashmere in there, so a bit of a luxury sock.
Oh, they'd make a nice brioche, wouldn't they?
Yeah, brio duo of the week. We watched Jenna Darling. She'd never do a 4-ply. We also have the.
Do we need to show the bag still?
No. The Stitch Birdie brooch that we bought you at Unravel, whoever the wins.
And a little felt craft kit. What does it actually make?
It makes
a brooch. It makes a bumblebee
another
brooch.
brooch. So it's and we also have some stitch markers made by Jo.
Yes.
Which we haven't got to show you yet. They're not quite ready. I thought you were changing them.
They're going to be a surprise.
They're a surprise, everyone. I think we're wonky, you know.
No, we're not.
Oh, okay. Right.
You might be wonky.
I probably am wonky. And busty. Oh, no, that isn't it. Right. So.
Whips.
Shall I start?
Yes, because you've got quite a few. So you do those, and then I'll do mine, and then you do those.
Right, so my first whip is what I've been working on and off all this week. And it is, although we haven't talked about a new design by Jo.
I've got the finished version here.
Which is, so it's going to be a bit all over the place. If you show them your one, shall I put it on?
Yeah. So this is the Sophie Cowl. It's knit in fingering weight and suri.
This is the first one that isn't in Sophie's yarn.
Yeah. So this was.
So it's a pull-on cowl.
Yeah. With a lace and cable pattern at the front. It's very cosy.
Very beautiful.
And then it has
at the back.
It has a rib.
It has a rib section. Sorry. I need to stop taking over your. Go on, Jo.
So it has a rib section at the back, which allows it to sit into your neck a bit better. Otherwise, you'd have this width of fabric at the back, and it doesn't always work, especially if you've got lots of hair.
Yes.
So, which we both have lots of hair. So I've designed it to have. This squinched in bit at the back.
Which doesn't have the suri in it, does it?
No, that's just knit in the fingering weight. And this one, I've got a sneaky feeling might be slightly heavy fingering. It was knit, it was yarn that I got in Kentucky from Eagle Bend Alpaca Farm, and it's got some sparkle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on the camera, but it's got some sparkle in it. And then it was just some natural suri. It's actually a mix of La Bien-Aimée and Bird Street's undyed suri.
Right.
So anyway, it's got this cable and lace pattern on the outside, and then just a plain stockinette on the inside.
So you basically knit a tube like mine's ready to be grafted. So you knit the lace and cable bit first, and I'm using undyed sparkle 4-ply and some Botanical Yarn speckled suri, which is these lovely colours. You can see it a bit better on the back. And then I've just finished the rib section, and now I'm about to graft it. And you can
really
see
that on camera.
But you can see that it's not quite as big as Joe's original one.
Yeah, so this is where we think the yarn weight was slightly thicker, but actually it's a little bit nicer.
Yeah, to have it
in a bit of a finer yarn.
Yeah,
and when that's steamed or wet blocked, it just is beautiful.
So this is actually this is a sample for Sophie for Botanical Yarn.
Yeah, and I knit. Excuse me, I knit this sample for Sophie.
You may have seen on her social media.
So she had it. She's at the Sophie's at the Harrogate Knitting and Stitching show this weekend, and she's got the sample there. This version is knit in her Fireside Glow colourway, which is this beautiful orangey red, and this one is mohair and fingering weight, and they're around about the same dimensions, but yeah, that's.
Have you got the picture of it laid flat?
Yeah.
Looks absolutely stunning in that colour, doesn't it?
And then that's the back. Cool. That colourway.
Yeah, so that's what I've been knitting.
And I've also been knitting another one, but it's a present, so I'm not showing.
So I've also halfway on, I've been counting my rows because that's kind of saddo that I am. I'm knitting a Musselburgh for my father-in-law in Drops Flora.
I thought because you've got 2 balls, you could just knit all the way to the end of one ball and then...
Well, no, because it has to be a certain length.
Oh, right. Okay.
I've got to this stage where I know I'm halfway on my rows that I did for Dad's.
Right.
And I haven't finished the first ball, so I know I'm going to have enough. That's what I was counting the rows really.
Oh, right, okay.
So it's in Drops Flora, which is wool and alpaca. 65% wool, 35% alpaca. And this is the colour 18, which I think is called red. So I try and do 10 rows a day on this. So in theory, I've got a week left of knitting. Well, and then the decreases, which actually go very quickly. So I will be trying to get that finished.
Is Flora slightly finer than the one you knit Dad's in?
Well, it's 4-ply. It's the same meterage. So, but it's quite nice to have it a little bit loose, like the gauge. It's on a 3mm needle, and you can kind of see my hand through it I can see my hand through it. But when you think it's going to be 4 layers, it's nice that it's. And apparently he has got a big head, and unfortunately I couldn't get him to try on Dad's before I posted it, so I was kind of hoping that he could, so I could then judge his, but I didn't get a chance to. And Dad's complaining because his is too big, but what Dad means is that it's too long, and he likes it, so he's folding it. God knows how many times he's folding it over. Anyway, I told them to be more appreciative of all the knitting. But this is living in the first Hohi bag that I ever bought, which is the BA bag, and still love it and use it. So we'll just show one more before you go. So these are my November self-striping socks, and I haven't got very far, and I think this might be the first month I fail. Although I'm going to give it a good go. So this is
It's all about priorities, isn't it?
It is. And you can actually get, if you sit and focus, you can get a leg knitted in no time. So I need to sort myself out here. This is the Dotty Wool Company in the Thanksgiving Friends Yarn Club, Thanksgiving special, and it's called Dancing Turkey. And the colours are gorgeous. So I didn't like the yellow initially, but it is growing on me. And I'm using the mini, this navy blue mini that came with it and I'm also using some new to me Prim DPNs, which you were also going to talk about. So yeah, trying those out. Jo will talk more about them later. Yeah, so I have
Well, I haven't actually used mine. So how are you finding them?
I like them. I would say that compared to my favourite DPNs for heels and toes are Zing, Knit Pro Zings, and they are 14 centimetres long and these are 15, and I would say that's the one thing that I have to get used to, because I feel like it goes under my watch strap as I'm knitting with it.
Oh right. The ones I've bought are 20 centimetres.
Right. So that's how I've still got a foot and another sock to knit. So wish me luck.
So these are the ones I bought. I'll show them in that position later.
And I will be, but I'm going to try and, well, you have to knit what you want to knit, don't you, really? That's what it comes down to with me in the end. Apart from obviously there's commitment knitting, but if I get a choice, I go with what brings me joy at the time.
Yeah.
Because for some reason at the moment I seem to be falling asleep a lot. So I start and then I fall asleep.
Cool. So I've got two whips.
Right.
That
Are they both in that bag?
No. This is the beautiful Harris tweed bag that I got from Botanical Yarns at the summer wool festival, summer wool show, whatever it was called.
I think it was Summer Wool Festival.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful fabric. I absolutely love it. It cheers me up every time I use it. And this is getting rather unwieldy now. This is my Easy V. So I think last time
By Caitlin Hunter.
I'd just split for the sleeves, haven't I?
Yeah, so you've done
I've done quite a bit of the body, and I've now kind of paused on the body and started on the sleeve so that I can see how much yarn I'm going to use for a sleeve. So she does a 14-inch sleeve.
You've got longer arms.
I've got much longer arms. I think I'm going to have to do an 18-inch sleeve. So I've done about just over 6 inches at the moment. Yeah, so I'm knitting it with this lovely woolen lark yarn in called Poetry, and it's merino, camel and acrylic, and this colour is called Sand. I'm absolutely loving it. It's got quite a nice stitch definition. It feels
it's got a luster to it.
But to me it looks like it's got some cotton in it, but it hasn't.
That might be the acrylic.
Yeah. So so I've done this yoke section pattern gets repeated on the end of the sleeve. So you knit until you've got 6 inches shorter than you need for the sleeve length, and then you put it's not it's not the full
Right.
pattern. It's
I was going to say it's because that's more than 6 inches.
a version of it, and then the cuff. So I'm kind of hoping to have that finished before I go to Florida, which is 2 weeks time.
Joe's off again somewhere nice.
So if you look back in a previous episode, I show you all the mohairs and things I've used.
But we can put it in the description.
Yeah.
The only thing that you only get a limited number of characters, and if it's more important that you put the pattern for the cowl.
Yeah, and we can always do a reference back to a previous episode where you can see all the...
I think it was the last one actually.
Yeah. And then my other whip is my lacy Maurice, and I'm keeping that in this lovely bag by...
also an acquisition, wasn't it?
Botanical Yarn, yeah. So we went to Sophie's open studio, and I couldn't resist this lovely, because it's Christmassy without being too Christmassy.
And it's got silver.
Yeah, it's got metallic bits on it. So the other thing in here is my gift. So
I was going to say that I can't believe that takes up all that room.
So this is my lacy Maurice, and it's knit. Excuse me, fluff. It's knit on the same size needles as the fingering weight version, but you get this light and airy fabric. And basically I've changed the rate that I'm doing the increases to get a shallower shawl, but it's going to be the same, well, it's going to have the same number of repeats. So I think we're on schedule for it to be the same length as the fingering weight shawl, but shallower, which will mean that you'll use less yarn.
Can I see the ridges?
You could knit.
It's less obvious, isn't it? The garter.
Yeah, you can still see it. Not so much when you hold it up. When it's lying flat, you can still see it. So it's going to be very, very light. It's in 100% alpaca yarn in a lace weight. Sanna's gone, and I can't pronounce it. It's...
Have you got the label?
No, I didn't bring the other ball with me. It's alpaca Phil Holt or something like that. And I was gifted this from Meg at No Frills in Bristol. It's a new yarn in her store, and she wanted me to try it out. And I chose this inky navy blue colourway, so that this will be a present for my co-host.
For your inky blue.
My inky blue loving co-host. And I'm also using some new needles that I bought. So not only have I bought the Prim double points, I bought these. I saw somebody was knitting with them, and I thought, I want to try them. They've got this little, can you see this little bulbous tip, and it actually works really well for the lace weight. Wow. I thought it was going to be hard because I thought I'd need a really good point, but it actually works really well. And they're so light. I can understand why people who have ergonomics, yeah. So why people with hand problems might want them, but also I think they're going to be amazing for travelling. So who knows whether this will be done by the time I go to Florida, but there will be another shawl on the needles to go to Florida. If it's not this one, it'll be a different one. But yeah, this is the 80 centimetre cord. I'm actually quite liking the cord. It doesn't seem to
coil and
it doesn't hold its
memory.
That's the word. So yeah, so it seems like a really good. And of course, I didn't just buy one. I got them from Amazon, and they do a set of 3 for £18.
I went and bought them as well.
So after you bought them, so I'm really liking them. Yeah, and I'm really liking the yarn as well. It is a little tiny bit difficult to knit at night. So what I do is I've got a really good lamp, but I also put a light coloured blanket over my knees so I can actually see the stitches.
Yeah.
At one point I was wearing a black tunicky top with leggings and I could not see what I was doing. So
and you've been trying out some new contact lenses.
I have, yeah. So
difficult.
the light blanket definitely helps. But I just love this pattern so much.
Let's hope you get lots of tests.
Have a little bit of share a bit of the Maurice love. Yeah. So that's coming on.
Brilliant. So have you actually got new designs to talk about, or have you talked about them all now? There you have. Right, so
well, we have to talk about them because you went ahead. You bumped ahead with your.
Let's get on with these whips. So this one is living in my Madder Root Main bag, which I love, with my Hurdy sheep pin that Jo bought me.
It's a different clip, isn't it? So it's a nice. That's a really good clip.
Yeah, hers are the first. She did the first ones really. Ooh, cast on the second one. So these are Dad's Christmas socks in this year's West Yorkshire Spinners colourway Gingerbread, with an amber. I think it's called amber heel and toe that don't match right exactly, but hey ho. And they're very big, and like I say every time, knitting my dad's socks is like knitting a sleeve, 2 sleeves, because you have to knit 2 of them. Anyway, I have cast on the second one just, and I always wind West Yorkshire Spinners yarn into cakes because the balls irritate me. So I need to get on with that really as well, another one to get on with, but I love this colourway and I think it will be really cute for him. Although he does watch this, and yet he's seen me knitting them. But yeah, so I now knit his socks on 275mm.
And you're such a good daughter because I'm not knitting him anything.
Okay, I've gone up a needle size to make them slightly bigger because of one of his.
He also made comments about the hat I knit him. So
did he?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I will be, and I post them to him as soon as they're finished. So there won't be. It'll be a Christmas present. That's before Christmas. Right, so we have to whip through these whips. I have made a bit of progress. This is my fat squirrel bag, which Jo has the same one, and I love it. And my Felix so my yarn is still living in my Belika bag, but the project is now in this one, and I'm knitting my Felix out of 1 strand of Drops alpaca silk, brushed alpaca silk, and this is the steel blue colourway, which is
not steel blue at all.
Number 25.
It's not steel blue, is it?
No, it's like just a mid blue. Really.
Cobalt,
yeah.
I would say.
And I have finished a sleeve since the last podcast. And I've done quite a lot of the body. Annoying needles. So my sleeve is literally 82 rows and then the cuff. So it's almost like...
Tried it on?
I haven't tried it on yet, no. I'm going to try it on because I want to know how long to do so I think I've done about 9 inches, which is where she gets you to stop, but I obviously need it a little bit longer because I don't want a cropped one. But you can see there's the Felix increases, which is the lovely, so that's the raglan, how you do the raglan increases with these yarn overs that form this like arrow lace. So I literally knitted this sleeve in a day. So once I'm on it, I can get this finished. I'm hoping by the end of the month.
Wow.
So,
we're not going to be podcasting
until the middle of December now.
So we should both be wearing a new sweater in the next
Hopefully.
podcast.
And I'm going to put it on my barber cords, which I got from Beautiful Knitters. And so the sleeve is on one already. I find them really useful.
Yeah, you get these stoppers with them, don't you?
Yeah, so you can just pop them on, hold, and yeah, so hopefully that will be done this month, now that I've finished some, well, nearly finished that cowl. And I have one more thing.
Sorry, I've got a bit of
Do you want to have a drink?
No, having a drink didn't help.
All right. So I am knitting an on the sea train hat, because I have to have a hat. It would seem must be my comfort knitting, because I need to have a hat on the needles at all times. But I cast this on. Excuse me as well.
Contagious, not.
Joe told me about a podcast that I hadn't seen, called the Nitty Stew, who is Leanne, Canadian cabin crew, who podcasts when she has her overnights and talks about.
She goes and visits yarn stores where she has overnights.
In Canada and some of America she goes to as well. But yeah, so she has knitted loads of these, and she had one on her needles, and it inspired. I've wanted to knit one for a long time. This is a free pattern by Espace Tricot, and I am just about to start my decreases, and I'm knitting it in. The yarn in the pattern is Woolfolk Luft, I think, with a strand of mohair. Well, I haven't swatched or anything, but this is Cascade Cantata.
Cantata.
And it's a blown yarn. It's one of those ones which has got, so it's 70% cotton, 30% superwash merino. So it's got the cotton core and then the merino's blown into it. And I was going to knit a sweater that Hohi had designed in Woolfolk Luft, Dark Cloud or something like that. Can't remember. Anyway, I bought one skein when Wool Warehouse had their shop open, the factory shop open, not factory shop, warehouse shop open. And the lady persuaded me to try this instead. So I bought this. How long ago must that have been? Long time ago. And I wanted to knit this hat with it. So I went rooting in my stash and found this yarn.
It looks lighter in the ball than it does knit up.
Yeah. But it's lovely. It's just a 1x1 rib.
Hold it up next to it.
Yeah. And it's like a old sweatshirt. When I was knitting this brim, I just thought I want a sweater in this. So I did go. They do still sell it. So, and there's lots of colours.
And it's all this white, like a white with a...
Yeah, it's all like a white core.
Is that what the luft's like as well?
Yeah. I think some of the luft, they do a dark core. Like do black on black. But yeah, so...
Yeah, because black would be like very dark grey, wouldn't it, really?
So it is Aran. It's Aran weight, but the recommended needle is 5.5. So I figured that would be equivalent to Aran plus a bit of mohair. So I'm about to start the decreases. So this will be a finished object soon as well.
That's lovely.
And I
Let me try it on.
really like it.
Is there going to be enough left over for me?
I don't know. You've got a small head, so we'll see. You can have the yarn. I'm not knitting it.
No.
You knit for me all the time. But you knit surprises for me all the time, so it's not like
I'm knitting you a lace weight shawl, woman.
I know. Anyway, I love this, and it will be finished very soon. And it's living in my Maurice, the polar bear bag, which is a lovely bag by the Blue Rabbit House. She does these lovely illustrations and then makes project bags, and I bought this at Beautiful Knitters. First time I visited in London. And I love him, even if he is called Boris.
The lovely Karen at Beautiful Knitters.
Even if he is called Boris.
She has some beautiful
Say no
things
more.
in her shop, which I'm going to show you in some acquisitions. I
Right,
had a
so
little...
that is all my whips.
Wow. I feel like bereft, because I only have 2.
But apart from the November, I suppose, the socks, we say both pairs of socks need work. A lot of it is nearly finished.
Cool.
So I need to. I do usually have a lot of whips on the go. I'm not the kind of person who worries about how many whips I've got. And if you counted how many second socks I need to knit, there's even more whips. But yeah, they don't. That doesn't bother me at all. The Royal Mail have just arrived with my parcel.
Should we pause?
Yeah, let's pause.
We'll come back in a minute.
We're back.
Sorry, I just snaffled a piece of fudge, so I might be for a minute or 2. Right. So next on our
next in our show notes, we're going to talk about new designs. So we've already talked about
the Sophie Cowl, which is currently available via Botanical Yarn as a kit, and we're hoping that Sophie's going to put the pattern up
as an individual
PDF purchase. Yeah, she's got some beautiful Christmas yarns that it would look amazing in.
Yeah. The purples are amazing.
Yeah, so there's that one, and then Rach designed.
So last year I designed the festive flower socks for Sophie with her mini Christmas minis, and this year we've
Slightly
upscaled.
adapted it.
Yeah, the using her Christmas 22 mini skein set and some sparkling grey as cotyledon undulata, and you can get the kit from Botanical Yarn. And as Jo said, we're hoping that Sophie will she's been very busy this weekend, so we're not going to bug her. But hopefully you'll be able to get the pattern on its own from Botanical Yarn soon as well. So yeah, cool.
So that's new designs, and then
I've got a couple of I've got a couple of socks patterns that I'm now able to sell from our Ravelry store. So I've been wearing these, so please forgive they are clean. They have been washed. These were the May socks for Botanical Yarn. And I can't remember what they're called.
Never mind. It'll be in the show notes.
So these are a shorty pair of socks, which seems a bit weird to be selling in November. But I'm allowed to sell the pattern 6 months after they come out, and I love this colourway. And it's got this kind of checkerboard lacy design on the down front, and you could make a long pair quite easily.
The picot
with
cuff.
Picot fold over cuff. So they're very cute, and that's why I've been wearing them, because I love these speckles. And yeah, so those were the May Sock Club socks. And then a year ago, got mo out of my nose. Oh, suri probably from this. Isn't it? A year ago, I had a pattern come out in a book called The Sock Knitting Bible by Lynn Rowe, published by David and Charles, and mine was one of the patterns in it. And they told me that I wasn't going to get my sample back, but this week a package arrived with these are the spring lace socks that were in the book, and these were knitted in Bird Street yarn, 100% BFL, superwash BFL, which is a base they don't do anymore, in a colourway they don't do anymore, which is called Amnesia. And I'm so glad I got them back, because the yarn was actually a gift from Claire, and I love them. And so these will be available once I've rejigged the pattern a little bit. These will be available in our Ravelry store. They weren't originally called the spring lace socks, so they will be called the spring lace socks. And God, my brain, and I love them. But you can still get the book, obviously, if you wanted to. There's 10 different designers in it.
How much is the book?
And the book, I think it's like $13.99
on Instagram. Oh,
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, it was £20. I bought it and it was £20, and I got my free copy, which we gave away. And yeah, so they've got this lace and then this kind of mock cable down the side. And I know what I was going to say. These were actually like the third pair of socks I designed, but they were so long coming out that I'd had all my first season of Bridgerton and everything by the time the book came out. So yeah, they're quite cute. Put them in a pile that people can't pick from. So Jo, every time Jo comes, she doesn't bring any socks, and then she complains that she's got cold feet. So she goes over to the pile of knitted socks that have not been worn because they're designs and things like that, and helps herself. And you wouldn't just help yourself. You would ask me. So this week she has a lovely pair of Eloise socks in a nice green colour, green sparkly. Yeah, and I let her keep them because I love her. So don't say I never knitted anything for you. They weren't knitted for you, but yeah. So those are two that will be coming out.
And then next week or next Friday, Monsoon Season Cowl is finally going to be released. I had planned to do it this weekend, but with the Sophie cowl and the Festive Flowers cowl coming out, I thought it'd be all a bit much. So that will be available from Friday with a bit of a discount.
So look out on our Instagram.
Yeah, I'm probably going to do 30% because a bit more than people get for the podcast and the gift along. So
that's a good idea.
A bit more of an incentive to purchase it in its launch weekend. So yeah, so that will be. I've just got. So my testers have been very, very patient with me. We had a few hiccups. We've sorted them out. The ones that they finished have been beautiful. I'm just going to add a few pointers to the pattern around blocking, and also one of my testers has very helpfully given me all the stitch count, because the way that the pattern works is you increase the stitches count, increases and decreases through the pattern. So I haven't actually put stitch count on, and she's given me the stitch count, so that can now go on the pattern as well. So thank you very much to Laura for her big help with that. So I've just got a few little edits to do to the pattern, and then that will be released on Friday.
Brilliant.
And then at the moment,
so Friday is the
25th
of November.
I've got a training course that day.
So watch out for our Instagram this week. Jo will be posting reminding people what monsoon season looks like, and I will be posting when I've uploaded the socks to Ravelry as well. Yeah,
and Fruitful Fusion, who dyed the yarn that I knit monsoon season in, had been doing that colourway as a charity colourway for the Pakistan flood appeal. I don't know whether she's going to have that yarn available, so just to be aware that
if you want that colourway,
you can always email or DM Ishrat and see if she'll dye some, but I'm not sure whether she'll have any in her shop.
But we could ask her before, couldn't we?
Yeah.
But if she's going to have some, we'll mention it in the post.
Yeah. So at the moment in testing is the Trillion Cowl, which I showed on the last podcast. Hoping that can come out in a couple of weeks, maybe when I'm back from Florida. That one can come out, and then I'll be doing the test call for Maurice on Monday.
And how long will you?
So
Christmas?
probably start it on the weekend. Start the test on the weekend. 4 weeks. That would be Christmas.
Maybe the new year.
Yeah. So probably come out in the new year.
Great.
For the Maurice shawl.
Let's do this before we do.
Okay, fine. Or change my plan around.
Well, people who don't like acquisitions can leave us.
So the last section we've got is kind of what our plans are and any dream knitting. So for December, what are your plans for December?
My plans for December are to finish some whips, and I haven't got it here, but you may remember that I cast on a marble mount sweater by Hohi Locatelli for the Knitalong, which is obviously ending the end of this month, and there's no way. I've done half of the yoke, but I really want to finish it. So I'm going to try and finish that in December. And I also want to get back to my Ziggy mohair version of the Ziggy. So I've got this long colour change mohair that I'm knitting a Ziggy shawl, but also by Hohi Locatelli. But I'm going to turn it into a cowl version, the way Jo does a cowl, bandana cowl. So I'd like to get on with that because I want to wear it in the winter.
Yeah.
And I don't want it to be a whip in the spring. So that is what I'd like to do in December, as well as knitting, catching up on my socks that I...
Cool. And I plan to knit 2 more sweaters in December.
Wow.
I have
You haven't started them?
I haven't started them. So I'm going to finish my Easy V by the end of November. And then in December, I am going to knit what was it called? The one, not girlfriend, but the one from Chelsea Yarn.
Material Girl.
Material Girl. I'm going to knit that pattern in a dark green British merino from Woolly Knit. I've got a cone of it. 4 ply. I'm going to knit that, and then I'm going to put a stripe of olive sequins, and I'm not going to hold the sequins together with the. Just going to have the sequins in their own in a 1 row stripe every.
Oh, nice.
Around the yoke, and I'm not sure if I got enough sequins. I might do the whole body, but on the yoke definitely. So I want that for Christmas. So I might take that to Florida with me. And then the other one is this sweater. I've got some of this effectively.
Sparkling
undyed sparkling fingering weight. I don't think it's a high twist, mine. And
some suri.
Undyed suri. And so I plan to knit that as well. But I could think in a week in Florida I could knit a Material Girl because they go so quick.
Yeah, they do. Brilliant.
So so that's my plan for December.
Oh, right. And then
January I am going to not knit anything apart from socks. I'm going to finish all my sock whips.
You heard it here, people.
Which there are. I've got 2 pairs where I've knit 1 sock.
Yeah.
And I've got half a sock and another half a sock.
Cool.
So 4 pairs of socks finished by the end of January.
Easy.
Cool.
That's brilliant. I'm really glad you're planning to do that.
And what are you doing in January?
Oh. In January, I am... my plan for next year,
but the
start in January, is to knit a pair of socks using my Bird Street, my beautiful skeins of Bird Street yarn that I've got. And I've got more than 12, so I could probably knit 2 years doing that. So my plan is to, at the moment, I'm only designing for Sophie's Sock Club, and I'm not going mad, so I'm taking it easy. Not quite sure where things are going to be with my treatment, so I thought I can knit a vanilla pair, or I can knit one of my own patterns or somebody else's pattern in Bird Street Yarn every month, and use up some of my lovely skeins that I look at and think, I can't knit you, you're so beautiful. So yeah, so I've got lovely ones, I've got darker ones, I've got springy ones, summery ones. So my plan is to choose 12 and plan out the year and put it on Instagram and show it. Shows what I'm going to be doing. So that's my plan.
You
for
could do one of
January.
those shots where you put up all the thing, and then as you knit the socks, change the shot and have
put the sock in. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Cool.
Yeah.
So we're now going to talk about acquisitions. So if it isn't your thing, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you in another episode. But if you like acquisitions, hang around for a few minutes while we
haven't got too many.
chit chat. No,
We haven't got too much.
no.
Cool. So we went to Sophie's Open Studio at the beginning of November. Yeah, bonfire night, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got these, our actors are in these lovely botanical yarn bags. Not too much. So I've got my minis from the October book club, which was Lessons by Ian McEwen. So I'm going to save those for the summer, I think, or knit some summery socks with them. And then I only got, so I got this is one of Sophie's Christmas colourways, which is called Sparkling Peppermint. So I got a skein of sock yarn in that and a mohair matching, which I am probably going to knit together in some kind of cowl-esque thing. I don't think I'm going to immediately knit another second Sophie's cowl, but
And we both got this.
yeah. So this is the
Hallow
Queen, one of her Halloween colourways with a mini sock to form a sock set.
And it's a lovely.
So
It reminds me of fruit salad sweets.
Yeah, we are thinking that if we haven't cast it on that we will have a little, we might do a little just the two of us.
What are you talking about?
No, have a knit along between us two.
Oh, right. Or a pair of socks in January.
Yeah, for Halloween, if you haven't knitted it.
Next year?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Have
fine.
you got a plan? Have you got a plan for it?
No.
No. So if we haven't knitted it by
Oh,
if we haven't
completely got me off the.
if we haven't knitted it by next,
Oh, right.
like
okay,
in time
fine.
for Halloween, we could knit a Halloween pair of socks
Right. Okay. Fine.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, people sometimes. Right, that was
And then
all.
I also got
I'm going to pop these back in here quickly.
these
between
two to go together,
Oh, that's beautiful.
which is Anthurium
Utah,
Utah, whatever that is.
the plant.
And well, it's obviously a plant, but I don't know what it is. And this is the Woollen Folk exclusive colourway on suri silk.
Are you sure? It's not.
That's what it says.
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, it's beautiful. Look at the olive.
Yeah. So I'm going to knit those two together. I don't know quite what. It might just be a Loretta Road.
If in doubt, cast
If
on
in
it.
doubt. And then this is Pampas Grass
That's beautiful.
and Peony Memory Suri.
Are they going together?
I'm thinking hat.
I'm thinking yes.
I'm thinking a Sophie hat.
Oh yes. That's exciting.
But that might be the, I don't know. See how the two sweaters go in December. They might let me a hat, snucks. What's the word?
Snuck in.
Snick.
You might sneak a hat in.
Sneak. We might sneak a hat in between Christmas and New Year.
Yeah. A betwixtmas hat.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Because I'm working between Christmas and New Year, but there's never anything to do.
Oh,
So
so
I might be knitting a hat.
So as we're on Botanical Yarn, I'm going to quickly... Have you finished?
Yes.
So I got the winter floral box from Sophie, and you get a skein of yarn to open every Sunday in November and December. And this is the bag that came with it, which is huge. Made by Sally. So it's got these lovely metallic
How many skeins
flowers.
of yarn do you get?
8.
Wowzers.
So that was the first Sunday. And that was the second Sunday. And I'm hoping that they're going to go together, because I'd like to knit a Z-wig. The new Hohi, one of the new, well, she had lots of shorts, huge more shawls out since then, but the Z-wig. So I think that would be beautiful. And I'm keeping them in here, I'll keep all 8 until because I won't be starting it.
Oh, that's lovely. I like the gold.
Yeah, and these are actually pink, like a pale pink, not white. Beautiful.
Lovely.
Yeah. So that's all my acquisitions.
Right. And I saw an Instagram advert or not an advert, but a post from Beautiful Knitters shop, and they had a new bag design, a new line of bags. So I went on and had a look. I didn't end up buying one of those, and the reason I didn't buy one is because so it's basically a drawstring bag with a leather loop that goes through another loop, but the top of it wasn't secure enough for me. I like
a zip.
I like a zip, or like one of these that folds over completely.
Yeah.
I don't like
Drawstring.
I do have a drawstring, but I like it to shut like that.
Oh, it doesn't shut.
It didn't shut like that. It shut, and it was about that open.
Oh no, things could fall out.
Yeah, I didn't like that. So I ended up buying this, which I have looked at before and absolutely love. And it's one of those, it's called Cerise sur le gâteau, so cherry on top of the cake. And I love this murky green, sludgy green colour, and obviously perfect is boring. And then I, because you can't just go and buy a bag, you have to buy some yarn too. I found this yarn, which is a heavy lace, 280 metres for 50 grams, and it's organic wool. And it's this beautiful hot pink colour, and I've already got an idea.
For a new shawl.
For a new shawl. So I got 3 of those.
Lovely. It's beautiful
I'm
colour.
going to be winding one and doing some.
Oh, it's quite
it's quite rustic.
Yeah.
Going to be doing winding one and doing some swatching of a new
and that's
stitch pattern.
Rosaris for Duro.
Eco-friendly collection. In the colour 23. Yeah, so I am. This won't be happening though until I'm back from Florida. Cool. I'm not taking that to Florida with me.
Ooh. And then you got your needles.
And then I bought these double pointed needles. So I've only got very short double point needles from Knit Pro, like literally
10 centimetres.
10 centimetres. So when I'm doing a hat, they're slightly too small, so I thought I'd try these.
They'd be brilliant for a hat, yeah.
And they're these prim ergonomic ones.
And if you look on the back, I just saw on the back, it shows that's the tip, and then the actual thing is a triangle, which helps the yarn, helps to guide the yarn, apparently. Drop shaped tips and triangular shaped shank help to pick up and guide the yarn. So there you go.
Yeah, well, we'll be trying those. So once I've tried them out, I will let you know what I think.
And we really like the packaging.
We like the packaging. I'm always one for I'm a sucker for some nice packaging. It's like when your iPhone arrives and it's all.
Yeah.
It's like the fintech bank that I'm a traitor to my own company with. Their card and everything arrives in such nice packaging. I'm just like, I'm an absolute sucker.
you get 4 in the pack. You get 4 sizes.
4 sizes: 2.5, 3, 3.5, and 4.
And how much were they?
£16.
Wow, that is a bargain. Brilliant. So that's everything. So if you've stuck with us this long, thank you.
Yeah.
We will probably podcast as soon as we're back together after Jo comes back from Florida.
Which might be just before our birthday.
Yeah, so it might be a month. Because today is the 19th of November. I didn't say that at the beginning. So.
And we're not seeing each other until the 17th,
No.
I don't think.
And in life news, I've got some exciting news. Well, exciting for me. I'm off chemo at the moment, in the lead up to having some of my brother's cells, which will actually be on Tuesday, the 22nd. So fingers crossed everything will go okay, and they will do whatever they're supposed to do. And then the plan is that I'll be back on chemo the 5th of December. So I will try and get lots of stuff done while my brain is not foggy. That is my aim. But just wanted to let people know how things are going, because people do send me messages, and it's really lovely and not inspires, what's the word, comforting, and it's nice to have people thinking about you when you're going through stuff. So thank you everybody who sends me messages. And so we're going to get busy knitting and finishing whips and things like that, so we have some stuff to show you. I will contact the winners, and hopefully by the next one we definitely will pick November's. And so if you're knitting any of our designs, get on our Ravelry group and put them in the various threads, and we can
and if you like this, please like and subscribe below, share with your friends, let them know that there's 2 middle-aged sisters who design a few things, like knit a lot and share their yarn. So
but have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.